Classic television will never be forgotten or out of fashion, as it has brought a lot to the television screens and living rooms across the country. Watching reruns of classic TV shows will also never go out of style. Not with those of us who grew up watching and learning from these classic TV shows. And not with the new generation of classic TV fans that the re-showing of those classics on television is creating now. Some of us may remember that when we were young, in the 1970s, we ran home from school to start finishing our homework right away so that we could watch classic TV shows like Gilligan's Island and I Love Lucy before dinner. Some of our traditional primetime TV selections included Bewitched, Happy Days, The Brady Bunch, Green Acres and the Beverly Hillbillies, Petticoat Junction, and The Partridge Family. Some of these classic TV shows were still being filmed in the 1980s and joined what is now also traditional television shows that we remember fondly and still enjoy watching today. Laverne and Shirley, One Day at a Time, Welcome Back Kotter, Baretta, Starsky and Hutch, Hill Street Blues, and Mork and Mindy. When Cagney and Lacey arrived on the classic TV scene in the 1980s, young women had the power to dream of professions generally reserved for men, as these two women fought crime in the mean streets of New York and the sometimes equally bad environment of men-dominated workplace. Our Saturday mornings were reserved for Fat Albert and Gang, Scooby-Doo and the Jetsons. On Sunday night, we watched classic television, like Hee Haw and Disney Family Showcase Theater. The cheeky push to the limits of the television programs that replaced old TV programs on most networks today have nothing on the classic TV programs of the 70s and 80s. We learned the real values of the Brady's family, the Waltons, from Family Ingalls and the Partridges, not to mention the Cleaver from Leave It to Beaver, and Timmy, his mother, and his superheroine and canine friend, Lassie. These classic TV shows from the 70s and 80s continue to teach family values that would otherwise be lost to the generation of children who now grow up in broken homes, in families headed by only one parent, or in families in which parents are forced to work just to survive. These old classic TV shows taught the importance of moral values, and the strength and wisdom found in several generations of a family living together or close to each other. We learned how to share and how to make friends. We learned that it was necessary to never lie to our parents, and that they would always love us, regardless of the mistakes we made. We learned that there were solutions to all problems, no doubt how big or small they can be. We learned to believe in ourselves and to dream big. We learned about falling in love and how to fix a broken heart. We learned all this and more from these classic TV shows that will outlive those who have come to love them and, through television networks, are still brave enough to provide a quality platform. Family values are shown as classic TV shows. For many of us, these programs are so ingrained in our memories that it's as if Richie, Potsy, and Mouth were our schoolmates, and we were there with them during all the teenage anguish and mischief they were in. At the time, many of us sat and wondered what it would be like to be a Brady or a Partridge. Who among us did not wish to own General Lee and could do something off the road that rivaled that of the Duke brothers? Mork made us hopeful that there was life on other planets, that they would be as hilarious and ready to make friends as he was. Oh, and how many of our older brothers shot to the ground when my mom wasn't looking, because they intended to find oil and become millionaires like good old Jekyll and Pitt did. Okay, so not everything we learned from these programs' classic TV was something that Mom was thrilled to find us staging. But it sure was a lot of fun. Classic TV encouraged you to use your imagination. It is nothing like the stupid things that permeate television, and our children are bombed today, which arouses little or no fantasy. No, classic television will never be forgotten or out of style. Many of us, old and young, will keep the demand for these TV shows of the past alive.